Hi, I'm Lucy Paget. I want to talk today about the things that you don't know, and how to make space to access that little tiny area. Well, actually, it's probably huge, the things that we don't know. But imagine, first of all, a circle. And in this circle, we can draw a pizza shape of the things that we know that we know. So if this circle is full of all the knowledge, all the stuff of the world, there's going to be a little tiny slice of that, of the stuff that we know that we know. And then there's going to be a much bigger area of the things that we don't know. And we know that we don't know them. Okay, so there's the part where we know. And then there's the part that we know that we don't know. And then there's the part in this giant entirety of information that we don't know that we don't know. Why is it useful to even look at the things that we don't know that we don't know? It's useful because in there's what some people would call synchronicities. There's what some people would call soul callings. There's what some people would call fate. There's what some people would call stuff that's really good for us that we maybe, if we are lucky, will come to know and discover. So it's a place of discovery, a place that's a little bit magical because we don't know what's in there. It's hidden. And sometimes we have moments where things that we don't know come through like a voice, like a chink in the universe. And it's like we receive wisdom. And we're like, oh, wow. But those moments are far and few between. I would guess that most of us have those at times. There was one time I was in Canada and I was so ready for change. Life, as I knew it, felt like all the pieces were winding down. And I came out of a really soothing healing session and I opened my car door and I heard a big voice in my mind, "You're done." And immediately my own thinking dialogue was like, well, what am I done with? Well, like, am I done with my work? Am I done with living here? Am I done with this? I was like, okay, tell me more, because it felt like such a big voice of like knowing. And of course, at a deep level, I knew that I was done with so many aspects of life then. And then there was a slow process where I finished doing things and moved to Nicaragua and started a different life that I live at the moment. But those chinks in the armor, those moments, those rare moments, are just rare moments. And sometimes we need to be pushed right to the edge for those rare moments to happen. What I'm interested in is a practice, a healing practice, a practical healing practice that we can use to open to wisdom, which maybe is our own wisdom, depending on your belief set, or maybe, and I personally believe it's both, my own wisdom, which is just sitting there, and sometimes I'm just so busy doing my to-do things and my other things that I'm just too busy to even really listen to my own wisdom. So there is that, which I need to, it is my responsibility and your responsibility to make space for my own wisdom, my own breathing room of knowing. And there is the wisdom that is around us, which, just like smelling an incredible flower, we can take in from the environment. And I will just say we can take it in from the environment because we don't know. We will never know while we're alive what that other wisdom is that feels spiritual, that feels like it's connected to the greater world around. And what do we do then? How do we get to the things that we don't know? And again, why is it important? It's important because there are things that we are longing for that we don't even know that we're longing for, because modern life is busy and it is very often stressful. And since childhood, there are some of us who are taught to really be in tune with what we want to do, but most of us are taught that we should do this and we should do that and we should be safe and we should be responsible, and there's not much room for like really divining the path of your own true good knowing and the path that would really be unique to you, to your own talents. and your own seeds of desire and longing. So we have to do that as adults. We have to give ourselves that. And so many of us in our mid-adult life, in this time of life, for me in my late 40s, it's like this really interesting time where my children are old enough now to make their own breakfast, and I have more time to think, like, who am I? What do I want to become? And how do I do that? And how do I just simply be a good person? And how do I give back? I am really interested in work that is good for me and good for the world around me. And I'm guessing if you've watched this far that you are too. So what I do, I have a practice, and I teach it to others. Everything I know from my years of healing work, of hands-on healing work, of understanding the nervous system, really deeply understanding stress and trauma and the realm of post-traumatic stress, deep understanding of that and what it looks like and what it feels like and how it limits us from our own good, clear thinking, deep knowing, and the longings that are here. And all of us need a bit of work to dust off some of our own responses to stress and trauma in order to have access to our own longings. And so at a very fundamental level, I feel it's incredibly important. It is the work that we each must do to dust off the stress and the trauma, to make space for our own wellness and our own wisdom to rise through us. And then once we have that intact, then we can start to feel like we are connected, more connected to the world around us in balance, and receive the longings, receive the knowings, to set forwards on a path that feels true and healing for each of us.